Welcome back to Hidden Power. We've got new beta images for how Scarlet and Violet were supposed to look. We've got some ideas on how the new Pokemon Poltergeist could evolve. We're going to be discussing look-alike Pokemon. These have been previously known as regional fakes or convergent Pokemon. And we're also going to be answering a bunch of other questions that we've received from you, from the community. Yeah, my name is Dusty Go-Goat. With me is Lumio's Post.
Hello.
And Soul Silver Art.
What's up?
If you didn't know already, this is a Pokemon podcast. Let's get into it, guys. So first up, we have these new images of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and their beta images. This is presumably what the game was supposed to look like.
Wait, do we have images plural?
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of images here. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, give us a breakdown.
I'm gonna start this off by saying this is, it's such a confusing post by Lutu. I didn't ask him. I didn't look at the comments either, but before this was posted, and this is supposed to be concept art. This is beta concept art. This is not like, this was not made.
Right.
It's
it
not
wasn't
in the
like
game.
they destroyed this and made Scarlet and Violet.
Right.
This was just, they were told to draw an idea of what they wanted Paldea to look like, and this is that early idea.
Well, I think it looks beautiful. This is the image. It actually looks like like those cliffs up there. Looks like something in the southwest of the United States. Like, when I see this, it is absolutely beautiful, and it's definitely what I imagined Generation 9 was going to be, right? Like, going into it, those discussions we had last year, this is, like, literally what I imagined the game to look like. I didn't even notice there was a Snorlax right here.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is...
Yeah. And what you say what you're going to say.
I just think it's so cool. We do have Pokemon that are roaming in the game.
Yeah.
Kind of, right? But not to this... I mean, we do. We do have the open world Pokemon, but this feels a lot. I just feel like their aspirations, right? Like what they wanted to achieve, the vision is there. Like, people say Game Freak doesn't care. I do think they care. That's what I'm getting from this image. That they do have a clear vision, but it really just 100%. Comes down to production.
Yeah, I put out a tweet about when this first came out. So this is like an update to it. Like, all of the like Japanese text has been taken off. Different things. This is the clean picture. But when this first dropped, it's just concept art. It's not like actual modeled in the game or anything. It's Photoshop, like a picture. Okay, you're not. This stuff is not moving. None of that is happening. Just concept art.
This is not it's static art. This is not a 3D world that was. No. They didn't take a screenshot of a living, game, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when it first came out, I was like, the hopeful side of this is what you just said, Dusty. Like, this is what they want to do. This is what they want to accomplish. That's like a huge thing to me personally. Like, that means that when they have the capabilities or get the capabilities of doing this, which they could at any point, that's the other downside, is that, like, you look at other AAA companies, they could produce this. They could make this happen. But for some reason, Game Freak has always been like this. This is not new. It's just, what's new is the kids are new. Like, the new generation is new. But like, back in the day, Game Freak was always behind on graphics, always behind on new kind of things happening in their games. Like, they're stuck in Sprite world, and like, we're moving on to Zelda Wind Waker.
Yeah, like, how long did it take them to get onto the Switch? Like, after Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild had all already been a thing.
I think Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out in 2018, because Sword and Shield came out in 19.
I think it was 18. Yeah,
maybe it was 7.
So that was
17.
I think that was 2 years after Breath of the Wild. I think.
Yeah, it was at least a year after.
And then obviously,
sure.
Let's
It
Go
felt
Pikachu
like a long
and
wait.
Eevee, as nice as it was artistically and all,
Yeah.
it definitely was not Breath of
Still
the
not up to
Wild,
par.
right?
No, it's
Yeah,
still
but I
not
don't
up to
think-
par. But that's the point, though, is that they've always been like that. Game Freak as a company. I don't know if a lot of the new kids know this about Game Freak, but it's always been like that. I don't know if that's like
Listen
something
here,
in my mind.
young bloods.
Yeah, but anyway, besides that, this is what we're trying to like replicate in a way.
Which is beautiful, because this actually looks like a lot of fun. This is what we imagined a Gen 9 game could be. There's elements here that were present in Legends Arceus, right?
True.
You have these individual massive Pokemon, right? Those could be
and
the
it's
alphas,
present
whatever.
in Scarlet and Violet too.
It
It really is. Like,
Yeah.
really, if you go to, what is it, Tang Tree Forest? What is it called?
Tag Tree Thicket.
thicket. That it looks similar to this. You can't tell me it doesn't, and it has a different vibe, but like a darker vibe. But this is still the same kind of idea. Like so they did it in one place.
Lush
but then they had to
environment
model,
that you can run through.
Yeah, they had to model the rest of Paldea too. Like this is just one single screenshot of one area, which Tang Tree Thicket looks similar to. Anyway, all of that to say that this could be like what we see in Gen 10 because they'll finally have reached those capabilities. But the problem is that all the other technology will probably have advanced by the time Gen 10 comes out, and then this ends up looking like something lesser. That's always how the Game Freak pattern goes, like in my opinion. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think it's really cool. I don't know.
Also, can we talk about how the character design is just from behind is a better design than the Scarlet and Violet character?
Yeah, I don't know.
They might not be limited.
Violet characters suck.
Yeah, because
they're
limited.
That. It looks like, I can't tell, but I don't think she's wearing a school uniform.
I don't think so either. No, I don't think so. I like the hat. The hat's really nice.
The hat's cool.
Like it looks. It doesn't.
It reminds me of Leaf.
Spanish, doesn't it?
Yeah, the whole background too, like you were saying, like in America, but that is very Spanish vibes out there, like very deserty.
Yeah.
But so it's good.
It's nice to see that there's a little bit of we love to say Game Freak's being Game Freak, but it's pretty. I don't know. This is nice. And then we also I don't exactly know where all this information was discovered, but this is obviously Lutu's account. Check them out.
It's coming from a specific like event that they held that is like what is the right word? It's like showcasing their graphic. Yeah, like an expo, but their like graphic capabilities or like their game developing capabilities. Okay. So that's kind of what this is.
So we also have an image
here.
Of it is weird. Yeah, Lutu is reporting this is leftover. This next image is leftover metadata from around 2020, suggesting the South Province's layout took over a year to create and was still not finalized by the time it was taken. Man, this looks like a N64 game.
Yeah,
like this,
but it isn't
so broken.
It's also
it is.
Okay, it is the CISA Developers Conference.
Okay,
CEDEC is what it's called.
That's why I always forget because it's just like a bunch of random letters and numbers.
I mean, most things are nowadays, and you can't even what would you call that? SETIC? You know, I mean, you can't really come up with a name for that.
Oh yeah, here it is right here, Lumi. Yeah, lots of cool. And then look, we can see some images of the actual
modeling.
The modeling of the world, which is kind of ridiculous. I think I got stuck underneath the model, like right here. This is where I fell. This is where I fell through the floor. It's really interesting. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work. I mean, this is intimidating as someone who has never played around with even code, right? Like I've never even messed around with web development.
Yeah, this looks like it's done kind of like in Maya or something. I've done a Maya couple courses before, and I just,
what is that?
It's like a 3D modeling program.
Interesting.
So it's just like, man, I gave up. I was like, I can't do this. It's just so frustrating to me.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed with modelers in general.
Oh, this
the
is
Pokemon
cool.
models are always amazing, though.
Yeah.
Like in Scarlet and Violet, the Pokemon models are next level. The textures and everything.
They must. I mean, I'm imagining they understand that it's important. If you're gonna get something right, you got to get the Pokemon right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So here's another. I mean, here's another image of that Snorlax close up. This is the kind of stuff that I want to see in Generation 10, where it's and I always feel silly even saying that because it's like. I don't want to ask for something that is not actually going to come to fruition, but the best parts of Legends Arceus is when you actually had Pokemon that were doing unique things, right? They were sleeping, then they would wake up, they would see you. That's the stuff I really enjoyed it from Legends. So it's cool to see this. And this is supposed to be like a Morris right here. So a more towering Pokemon. I think, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, look at. Yeah, there's a lot of great.
People are like, it looks like that one picture.
Yeah, this one picture.
Yeah.
And again, this is another static image that someone brought up. Yeah.
It's funny because
cool.
It's got a Snorlax and everything. It's very,
I know.
and it was around for a long time.
I think Snorlax is honestly like just a great Pokemon to kind of depict the world because it's like it's just sleeping there, it's just chilling, and it kind of gives you some scale.
It does,
Look at the pictures. Like, do you see them side by side that someone commented in there? It's really like they almost accomplished this concept art, in my opinion. Like, people were like yelling at me for saying that, but I don't think it's like that far off.
I don't see that side by side image, but
it was there for a second.
I think Paldea's pretty. It's seriously, it's graphics issues, it's frame rates, and you falling through the world, stuff like that messes up Paldea for me. But I think Paldea itself is pretty. There are some areas specifically in southern Paldea that is like, okay, I've kind of been going over grass hills for a while now. I wish it was a little more diversified, but you know, like areas like the bamboo forest up in the top right, that like dragon area.
That's like the nicest.
Oh yeah, that's great. Glaciato Mountain's also cool. That little valley where the lighthouse is and that Team Star base is, that's all very cool. Sakurat Trail, which is the like area where you get Ting Lu. That was also very cool.
So I think, you're saying all this, and I'm remembering it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? He's actually right. And I think that we think, or maybe the majority of people have like this bad light that Scarlet and Violet is painted in. But really, I think that this image is not that far off from what they ended up accomplishing. It's just that this is a concept art image. It's not actual gameplay, so it can't be really replicated.
You know, it's true. So like recently I played, I like the other day, right? I was transferring all my shinies into home because I don't want to ever lose those shinies if something happens to my Switch. So that was the catalyst for me to play BDSP recently. And for about 30 minutes, I was like in love with the art design. From just turning on the game, right? Like you can see that it's like a 1-for-1 remake, obviously, of the original Diamond version. I have Brilliant Diamond, and I'm like, this is so charming. I'm loving this so much. The top-down perspective, and am I gonna forget my point? Basically, I had a really good. Okay, this is it. I had a really great time with that, right, for about 30 minutes, and then I realized, oh, I'm bumping into this. Oh, these Pokemon aren't actually following me. Oh. Like, all these little things started popping up, and I'm like, I'm bored. I'm going to go play Legends Arceus. And I played Legends for about 3 hours after that, and that was a lot of fun. My point is that Scarlet and Violet, it's already nostalgic, right? It's a time period where we all met. You know, it's a great... It was a really... I want to say it's a great game, but when I go back to play it...
It was a great game.
When I go back to play it to redeem... Like, over this last year, like, I go back into the game to redeem... giveaways, right? I go to like trade something to a buddy. It's not a fun experience. Like, I don't know if it's just like I don't understand the buttons, but it's just so like not that much fun and disappointing, especially coming off of 3 months of playing Tears of the Kingdom, which I understand is an unfair comparison, but it still stands that like, you know, it's the age old. It's the age-old, excuse, whatever, right? Like, it's like, this is the biggest franchise in the world. You would think that they would allocate more resources to the fulcrum of the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, I have a lot to say about that. I definitely think that they should put more money to it. Like, that's my number one thing. I
think they need more people, not more time.
Yeah, more people, but that is the main discussion. Okay, so there's two arguments with this whole thing. This one is that they need more people versus more time, which I think they need both, but not like as much time as what people are saying. Like they need like a whole.
Yeah, people are saying 6 years. Is Scarlet and Violet really 5 years away from it being? Breath of the Wild level?
Probably not. It's probably... So, I mean, I feel like you either spend more time on a project with the same amount of people, or you add more people, which essentially is a replacement for more time. But they have the resources.
It's also more quality. And yes, they have that's the thing, is like, we know how much they're making from these games, and then you add everything else.
Media franchise.
Yeah, then you add everything else. All the anime, the merch, and I know it goes to a ton of different places, and there's probably a certain amount that goes to the actual developers. But
I'm always just thinking though, it's like this is the start of a generation. This is the start of a generation. People can say like, oh, they make more money from the cards, they make more money from the merch, but like this is what launches all of that, right? If this is a bad representation, a bad launch of a generation, like it's gonna be soured. You know, you want people to have these core experiences with the Pokemon in the game of a new generation, because that's what's gonna fuel the rest of the 3 years.
It's crazy to say, but I think that they should give more to Nintendo, because Nintendo has like a bar of quality that they do not allow things to be under.
But that's not gonna happen.
I know, because they want their money, but
it's because
Nintendo would put enough money, and I know they will. They can still do this without giving too much to Nintendo. Like they just need to put more money into hiring quality. Like I made a tweet about this. The old like mentality of Game Freak and Nintendo in a lot of ways is like not to hire so many Westerners, but there are a lot of good Westerners with like graphical capabilities that far surpass like Nintendo's. You know what I mean? Like Nintendo is like not the Xbox kind of graphics. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in general, they could hire some really big. It doesn't just have to be Western,
and
but it's really
paid
good.
off when they have hired Westerners. I mean, James Turner gave us, the Poi Pole line.
Yeah, true. I don't want to just single out just that whole thing, because I don't know what their mentality is anymore. But my whole thing with this is that it's a mentality change that they have to, and maybe that comes with the new generation of Game Freak employees that come in. But I think changing the way that they do things is what is most important, and by doing that, putting more money into it and by hiring more people.
It trips me up to imagine and this is gonna happen eventually, whether it's internally within Game Freak or if Pokemon's owned, by another company. But like to think that the design of the game, the direction, right, the design direction, or even just of the Pokemon themselves, right? If another company is in the middle or in charge of leading the design of these Pokemon, like, we might not be getting the same quality. Like, can you imagine, like, people who work at Monster Hunter or someone who works at, like, I'm trying to think of these other, like,
That's an interesting thing to point out, like, though. I think that they should always be in charge of designing the Pokemon. That's one thing that should not change.
But what if that is something that they have to relinquish in order to, like, if that deal goes on and Nintendo all of a sudden owns 40% of the company, like, what if they're like, no, you know what, we're going to be controlling some of these creatures, and then they all look like Mario characters, right?
That'd be bad.
Right? Or like,
I don't think that would happen that way, because they know what they have. Like, they wouldn't want to put their
I hope so
hands in it and make it all a mess. The bottom line with all this, by the way, is I am not a game any of this stuff. This is just how I personally see it. I just want to say that, because a lot of people be like, you don't know what goes into this, and I don't. It's true, I don't.
But there is some things that, like, you do know because you see it in front of you that is suspicious. Like the I forget his name, and I'm so sorry, but there is someone on Twitter who makes like animations for Pokemon and has been putting in Pokemon into Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl that did not exist there, and it looks incredible.
It looks so good.
Yusuno, that's his name. I thought that was it, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to say it. And
I don't know how to say it out loud, honestly. You read it all the time, but you don't really know.
Right.
That is amazing. Talking about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, like, they made it the best game ever, the best Pokemon game ever. Like,
custom animations,
so bad.
Like new Pokemon, right? Pokemon from
like he generations in like Mega Rayquaza and stuff too.
Every Pokemon is available except for Gen 9, like Gen 9 up.
And I feel like BDSP has a lot of misses, but the most offensive misses for me is that they didn't just include all of the Pokemon, or at least newer Pokemon. They could have at least put Galar Pokemon into.
They should have put Sylveon, and they had every evolution except Sylveon.
That is
the thing.
Record,
I said the same thing with Let's Go. Is that with Let's Go? I wish that I could evolve my Electabuzz into an Electivire. I get why they did it. They were trying to capture the magic of Gym 1. But you've already got the Fairy type. You've got Megas. You've got Meltan and Melmetal. You have
and it's not 1996.
So it's exactly. So they're introducing these other elements from outside Gen 1. So why can't you just... Because it made me feel like I don't want to use Electabuzz on my team because
it's not fully
incomplete.
evolved.
I cannot complete my Electabuzz.
Yeah. Like, I don't like Scyther, but I like Scizor.
That's messed up. I get it.
Cool, though.
And like that for like one game, but for BDSP as well, like
it was just weird.
We could have done
it makes me
else.
Scared that's the way forward, and that's like,
and it doesn't.
I don't like that. But then it's weird because Legends they added Sylveon.
Yes, exactly. It makes me feel like they are. It's like those kind of decisions feel like they're cutting corners rather than making like strategic decisions. It's not like let's only do the first 4 generations, but Sylveon also evolves, so we'll also add Sylveon in, right? Like that would have felt good. That would have felt like, okay, you're actually carefully crafting this game. But instead it felt like, nope, just that's the cutoff. That's it. Nope, doesn't matter about the player experience.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right. And even like it felt like I had a step back in the sense that like in Let's Go, like I said, I could catch a Cantonium Raichu and trade it for an Alolan if I wanted to use Alolan Raichu. Right. No, that was Emperor and Diamond Shining Pearl. I should have been allowed to trade my Farfetch for a Galarian one and evolve it and just Surfetched in it, things like that.
Yeah.
So I agree. But
right. So it would be so simple to do because it already exists. The 3D model already exists.
This does very vaguely remind me when I think we've got a good thing going here with this topic, but when we're done, there's actually something that before recording this episode, we did not mention that is kind of that I've seen on Twitter that I would like to bring up.
What do you want to talk about?
I think it's big. Okay, well, I think it's related to. So it is from, I have it pulled up here. It is from Light. We all know Light on Twitter. If you don't check him out, Light_88_. So he posted this screenshot from the website that says, it basically says you must own Pokemon Violet. You know how it is. Like if you purchase DLC for Pokemon Violet, you have to put it on Pokemon Violet, right? Not
I have it right here.
You can't do Pokemon Scarlet and use Violet's DLC. But it says it's possible that additional DLC not listed above will also be distributed with Pokemon Violet, the hidden treasure of Area Zero. Now, I have my thoughts on what this is referring to, though, because I think immediately we get excited, like, third DLC? The Cinder Citadel? But no, I think it's, I think, for one, it could be a reference to that +1 we've heard be mentioned. Could
you explain that, +1?
Yeah, so real quickly, we are about to get into some leaks information, so I've seen people asking that we preface when we're about to get into leak stuff, so skip ahead. But Ku said that there would be 7 Pokemon Teal Mask, 8 Pokemon Indigo Disc, and then he put +1. So seems like we're getting a mythical.
Interesting.
This could be referencing that mythical.
See, that makes sense. Okay, that doesn't even feel that crazy. That makes sense. Yeah.
But also, I will say,
we need a mythical
it is, but even still, it's news in the sense that it's kind of, in a way, confirming that. But also, I am wondering, hoping, crossing my fingers, that it is also a reference to perhaps some graphics updates.
No. No,
you're probably right. He's probably right.
We've got two different sides. Ooh.
We know about the leak.
Fight!
There was a leak, Dusty, that said that they were working on like graphic improvements for the DLC 2. So I think that's definitely coming. Like, we're getting graphic improvements.
Yeah, but for what?
Do you think they'll affect the base game? Like,
no,
is the windmill and Artisan still going to function like crap?
Yes.
I don't know.
If they give us any sort of graphical update, it's only going to apply to the DLC. And both DLC locations are away from the main line of Paldea. So why?
I mean, I don't mind that.
I'm saying?
I don't mind that either. Because I'll probably
spend
be spending most of my time there. Yeah.
Okay, we're all in sync. That's great.
Yeah.
It's done and dusted. Like you're not really going back to Paldea other than completing your Pokedex, and Area Zero, which they could do like a graphic update in Area Zero specifically as well, and that's it. I don't know. I think it could be for the whole entire thing because I don't remember what the leak said exactly, but I think it was supposed to be for the new Switch model, but the new Switch model is not happening yet. So,
oh man, I can't. I cannot wait for a new Switch.
Yeah, Yeah, me too. That'd be good for a lot of future games. For this very image that we could see in Gen 10 might look just.
Well, it's exciting for me because I'm like, I think that's actually it's like a year away, maybe, right? Like that's exciting. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, we've been saying a year away for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said it multiple times. Like I think this is the third time it's been delayed.
Yeah,
when I first heard about it.
Yeah, but there were unprecedented global issues.
Sure.
So I think it's gonna happen. We're back, baby.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. It is like, I mean, again, I don't know things from a development standpoint, but it feels like there are delays beyond COVID's effect, if that makes sense.
I don't think this has anything to do with COVID.
Yeah, so I think some of them may have been. Like, the first delay very well could have been. Because especially in Japan, like, they shut down.
This was way after,
line, right?
This was much farther away.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, is it would have an effect.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll have maybe we can have Jake back on to give us the lowdown on Nintendo stuff. I really, we don't really follow Nintendo like that. But hey, could you? So if we are assuming that there is a new mythical Pokemon that could be coming out next year at some point,
I think February.
Are there any? I mean, when it comes to
that makes sense.
When it comes to the mythos or any of the the mythos of Spain and Portugal, is there anything that we think it could be based on?
That's hilarious because we were just talking about it in our Patreon. In our Patreon episode, we were just talking about how they just like literally threw out all of Iberian culture.
It's gonna be it's gonna be like a hamster. It's gonna be like
like they just were like, oh, that's
like a parakeet.
Pokemon. A few Spanish Pokemon.
Yeah. We're getting another parakeet. We're getting a second Squawkabilly. It's a paradox Squawkabilly. That's
remember in the movie that like the Gen 6 movie where Carbink had like multiple different forms.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if like Squawkabilly? That's what you're saying, right? Like Squawkabilly has like
Squawkabilly, another
like a special mutated Squawkabilly. Yeah.
I think it's like agreed in the entire community that Squawkabilly is like top
it's just
5 worst
lame
updated Pokemons.
It's just lame. It doesn't add anything.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. Like, it was like,
give us chat time.
I'm not one of those
people. All we need.
Like, some people say waste of a deck slot, and that's such a stupid argument because, like, it's not like they would have given it to something else. It would have been one less. Instead.
Yeah, but still,
like, if we got 100 Pokemon, it would have just been 99 Pokemon. But for the record, I'd have been just as fine with 99 Pokemon. If
yes and
Squawkabilly
no,
was the one missing.
Yes,
because it's still something.
They probably cut some Pokemon. Like there were designs that they cut, and maybe
but if
one of them
they're wanting a normal flying bird, they're not going to replace Squawkabilly with Katora. They're going to just not.
And I also think of like every
name.
Listen, every bad Pokemon is a tarnish, right, on the legacy of Pokemon. I've said it before. Like these Pokemon are forever. We're not like when a new game comes out. Yes, I'm excited to play the new game for new features and new ways to experience the Pokemon. But it comes back to the Pokemon. The Pokemon are going to be showing up in every other media, right? They're going to be showing up as physical objects through merchandise. They're going to be showing up in the future games.
Right.
So it's like
even like in a meta standpoint,
is forever.
They shape the meta. They shape what's going on with VGC. VGC is built around Fluttermane.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's just it's like man, we do not need Simisear. Squawkabilly. All right. If you're enjoying this episode, consider supporting Hidden Power on Patreon or YouTube channel memberships. We have 3 tiers, and the lowest tier starts at just $5 a month. Supporters get access to our secret Discord server and help control the direction of the podcast. This is the same Discord where we're recording the podcast right now. We interact here daily.
This Discord server is actually where we form the ideas for each episode.
If you ask a question, we're going to answer it on the show. Supporters also get priority responses in the comments.
Our love and friendship.
You get that. You get a little bit of that too. Yeah.
Our favoritism. We like you the best.
And if you want something a little bit more tangible, we have merch. What do you guys think about the merch?
The merch is great.
We've got Team Lumi in a beautiful blue, Team Dusty
the best one
in a forest green, and we got Team Soul in a blood red. Buy a T-shirt, show your allegiance, and if
Team Lumi.
Yeah, to Team Dusty. And if you want something a little bit more subdued, this is another logo that we made originally for the show. We didn't actually end up using this as a logo, but I thought it made a great merch design.
It's literally a beta design. You guys love our beta videos.
I love this so much.
Retro hidden power.
And look, when you turn around, this is literally my favorite shirt. It's literally my favorite shirt. Thank you everyone for watching and subscribing. And now back to the video. Our buddy Pen Paladin, which I love this so much. I mean, shout out to Pen Paladin, but he created this this evolution for what's it called? Poltergeist. I keep forgetting the
Poltergeist. Yeah.
It's an evolution for Poltergeist, right? So this is the big conversation, right? Regional fakes, convergent Pokemon, maybe look-alike Pokemon, homage Pokemon. There's a lot of new names coming out for these Pokemon. The big thing is that Poltergeist, its namesake, is in reference to obviously Poltergeist, but it looks like Sinistea. This is the big confusion, right? We almost had a trope. We almost had a pattern. They broke the pattern. I kind of love this idea now. So this is a evolution for Poltergeist.
You're peaking strong right now.
Yeah, it's Poltergeist.
Too many P's.
Yeah, so there is so this is an evolution for Poltergeist. It's he calls it Spiricha. It's basically a Pokemon that looks like Spiritomb, and I love this so much. I love this so much to think that these look-alike Pokemon can take on any form and almost draw a connection to any sort of Pokemon. Like, now all of a sudden there's a theory here that, like, is Spiritomb related to Sinistea or something, right? Like, you can make a whole video on that, right? And it's not even for the video, but just, like, this is so imaginative. Game Freak can now just, like, explore everything. I was thinking over the weekend.
Well, and it's fun, too, because when they release a look-alike now, like when they reveal, oh, look, here's a look-alike to, I don't know, Shuckle. Well, you're thinking, is it going to evolve into a look-alike to Dragonite?
Right? Like, it could be
go
anything.
any way.
So, like, the thing that I'm thinking of this weekend was, like, I think these look-alike Pokemon, these convergent Pokemon, right? For if you're lost, it's the Wiglet, right? It's the Toedscruel Pokemon, right? I think this idea has maybe gone back all the way back to Generation 1, but more recently, I mean, is Mimikyu a look-alike of Pikachu? Because that was very deliberately based on Pikachu. The whole lore is about it looking like Pikachu, and Game Freak made a huge deal about it looking like Pikachu. Right? Like, could this how far back does this concept go? Maybe are Plusle and Minun, are those look-alike Pokemon? Because they look identical and they're completely different, right?
Yeah. Volbeat, Illumise, Sock and Throw, maybe even, just because they've got the whole karate outfit. And then you can go like Fungus and Voltorb, I've seen people saying.
Exactly. Like, it really is. We thought, I mean, they gave us Toedscruel, they gave us Wiglet, and they gave them evolutions, and I think they're great Pokemon, and the design there is very rigid, right? It's like, it's got the same face, similar body, different habitat, right? This is where, like, people were geeking out about convergent Pokemon. Then they evolve, it stays similar. But to think that now we have this new Poltergeist Pokemon, which is not, it has nothing. I was talking to my buddy, and he thought it was a regional evolution, right? For Sinistea. It's not. So I think this is so cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any takes on this? It's been.
You went through like 5 different topics, but to me, this idea of it turning into like a Spiritomb is super cool. It's like regional evolutions to regional kind of thing.
Yeah.
I hope that they go in that direction. I guess hope it might be the wrong word, because I was going to say I'm not hopeful, but I'm not confident that they are.
I want them to.
Yeah, I want them to do that, but I don't think that they will.
Look, I'm going to ruin my experience if I expect a Spiritomb evolution and it's Poltergeist. So I'm just going to go ahead and expect Poltergeist.
Yeah, because most likely it's Sinistea, and it's going to evolve into Poltergeist.
Yeah.
But the look-alike version of it, most likely. But the potential is there. That idea is genius. Like, to mix things like that. The thing is, it's kind of like doing Pokemon Fusion. Like, this would be a real Pokemon Fusion right off the bat. Like, crazy.
But I get,
don't know if they just throw it out in this like one way, you know, like this is it.
Yeah, but I guess it's like
Pokemon Fusion.
But I think, I mean, again, it is genius, right? Convergent evolution that exists in real life. So we got some Pokemon that were like loosely based on that. But I think even you take it a step further, right? You basically like think of a shark. I can imagine a Pokemon that is a shark but has the beak or whatever of like an alligator because it just has a lot of teeth, right? But then it also kind of looks like a dolphin, right? Because it's a shark, right? Is this making sense? I'm just saying, like, you can take these different attributes. You can take different attributes from different Pokemon that are familiar to us and like apply them into a new Pokemon.
I think
this is so much fun.
I think the reasoning behind this is, I don't know if other people caught this, but one thing that a big theory around Poltergeist personally for me is the reason that it's called Poltergeist is because its evolution will be Sinistea based name.
Sure.
And it has much more. Sinistea has the sinister, the word sinister in it. I think that its evolution will be more sinister, and it will. They're getting the idea from that this was a vengeful spirit that possessed this caddy, and so when it evolves, it'll evolve into something more like vengeful, more Spiritomb like, instead of being like Poltergeist, which is like a happy little guy in a teacup and a teapot. So like I think that's almost 100%, my opinion, what's going to happen. Will it be Spiritomb? I don't think so, but you know,
it could be something different too, though.
That's where the idea comes from. Like it's evolution. Yeah, I mean that's a whole nother topic.
It's Charizard.
Like, what if it evolved into something? Oh my gosh! What if it evolved into something that wasn't Poltergeist like, but completely different, but still like
it could? Yeah, that's the thing. It could be a different Pokemon altogether.
Yeah, I mean, because to be frank, like look at Toedscool and look at Tentacle, look at Wiglet and look at Diglett, and then look at Poltergeist and Sinistea. It is not near as close.
No,
as close as Wiglet and Diglett were, or Toedscool,
which is good. That's what we always wanted them to do with these. We wanted them to stray.
It feels more like a new design than like which is funny because this is the one that people have been pointing to and saying this could have been a regional form, but like it actually design wise, I don't know that it could have.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could have.
Concept wise, it could have.
I think it could have, but at the same time, I think that they are trying to make it more different, especially because it's like one of the only new Pokemon in this DLC. You know, so they're like, we have to make it like kind
different. Yeah.
Right. Epic. They have to make it something. You know, like it's not just going to be like a complete copy of another Pokemon, Diplin. But you know, like it's they've already got enough. They can't just like make so much more fluff. It's got to be something big. I think that its evolution might be impressive, but I might be hyping myself too much.
I think I've also seen a lot of discourse on Twitter, in just kind of reinforcing ideas that we've had before, where it's like, why is a lowland Sandshrew called Sandshrew? Sand.
Called Snowshrew.
Yeah.
Shrew.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
a big one.
Snowshrew and Snowslash.
And I think, I mean, in classic Game Freak, it's like we want them to almost uphold patterns. We want them to uphold. I don't know. It's like instead of retconning, they just like go, well, that's just gonna be messed up, and it'll be what it is. But let's try to correct it. Let's overcorrect and make a new thing. So all of a sudden in my head canon, like Sandshrew, like a lowland Sandshrew, why could it not be called something else, right? Why could it not be? Why is it not Snowshrew?
Because it's a regional form.
It is. It's classified as that.
If they had made it now, they probably would have done something. They would have been like, oh,
so
we're just changing the name and it's a new Pokemon instead.
About a year ago, I remember having our first conversation about like what the heck is the point of a regional form? Or, I'm sorry, what the heck is the point of a regional fake? Why not just give us another form, right? Because then it's not a dex slot. And they've
applies.
just it still applies, but it's like this is what they've wanted all along. I think.
Yeah, it's a way. Like I've said it multiple times. In the end, it's kind of just a way for them to make everything more tidy, neat. Like to not complicate things, which to us fans it complicates things, but to them as a game
as a developer,
as them categorizing and keeping all these Pokemon in order, it actually makes the most sense to keep them going because now they're not region locked. anymore.
They don't need to like think of it like that's true. Every new game they have to be like, all right, if this is gonna exist, that means we now need to.
And you have to have Alolan Ninetales.
You have to have like
with Ninetales.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Well, and also it like they clearly wanted Alolan Vulpix in Legends, so they had to put in a guy who gives you one from Alola. Yeah. And it's because the rules are with regional forms, Alolan Vulpix should be locked to the Alola region. So then you need to being able to do it this way is now they can say, well, you know what, we're on a beach, let's put Wiggly here. You know?
Yeah. It's like both guys can be here. There's no.
The funny thing is though, that in New Pokemon Snap, a game that for a long time I've been telling you both you need to play, you can find both Alolan and Cantonian Ninetales, and they're wild. You can find Alolan Raichu. You can find Cantonian Sandshrew, but Alolan Sandslash. Things like that. Like, it's mixed matched.
Probably because that game.
It's not mainline. But see, when you do theories on your channel, you try to think about these things and try to connect dots and explain it, since they won't.
Mm-hmm. As for the whole discussion of what we should call these things, I mean, we beat it like a, what do they say, like a dead horse or whatever.
Yeah,
that saying is. But I think that ultimately the reason that we talk about it so much is just because listen to us here, we called it 4 names. We just need a name in the community that we can know what it is. The problem is that some of them are not accurate, but then you have evolution. Pokemon
None of them are accurate. The only one that's accurate is lookalikes.
Yeah, I agree.
It's true.
Because Convergence, it's funny because the war is between Convergence and regional fakes, right? Well, the people who say Convergence is wrong point out that some of it shouldn't be possible. Like, how can an inanimate object be convergent, or how can a jellyfish be convergent with a mushroom? But then the flip side is, okay, well, regional fake isn't right either because they're not regional.
Yeah, that's also true. But I mean, the idea behind regional fake is, it wasn't supposed to be right even. Right. Either. It was just
it's literally a term from a guy.
Yeah, it's a mistake, and that's fine. It was just a name to call them. So
why don't we agree to call these mistakes then from now?
Stop it.
So we'll have another name for them. Anyway, I've been harping on lookalikes because I've been saying it from the beginning that they should be mimic, but mimic is also a scientific term, so people are no, it's not actually a mimicking the other one. I know it's not. It's just that they look the same, and they're different species. That is at the core of it. They're different Pokemon that look the same somehow,
which is so simple and satisfying. And that's what regional forms were always. That's what was exciting about that always, right? Mm-hmm. I think, man. That's I don't know. Maybe I got to do more research about where that shows up in. I think that's the same as convergent or whatever you want to call it. It does show up in nature, so it makes sense for that side of my brain. And it's just satisfying. I think what we love are things that are familiar and new takes on old things. So this is, I don't know, I think it's so great. And I want to see more.
I don't know.
I want to see more. I want to see
I don't know if I want to see more.
So what's your favorite Pokemon?
You know this.
Scizor.
Yeah.
No, well, it's
Mothim.
It's my favorite non-legendary. No, Ultra.
Okay, your favorite legendary is.
Okay, well, Ultra Necrozma's not going to get a lookalike form.
Why not? Oh my gosh, please.
But what's something that's kind of iconic? I don't know,
Scizor.
Scizor's fine. That
is
my favorite
non-legendary. Yeah. I don't know if
your argument's falling apart here, Dusty. Use Scizor or admit defeat.
Yeah, okay, right. You gotta just, I don't know, I'm trying to think of just simple Pokemon.
I get what you're saying. Ruby. Even with Ultra Necrozma, if Ultra Necrozma was another one, that is the same kind of design but different Pokemon, I would love it, obviously. But that's just because I like that Pokemon. I'm on the fence about these forms, new Pokemon, because I don't know, they still haven't impressed me yet with any of them. I like them, but they're still just the same.
I love your take that these Pokemon are essentially just jokes. You got to just look at these Pokemon
they are.
It's a funny pun. And Lumi had a list of 10 of these, but the one that always stuck with me because I probably see it when I go on walks. I always see like bundles of overgrown crabgrass, and I always think I'm like, that is an easy, like there's so many like linguistic similarities or like callbacks to other things that like aren't actually things, right? Like we call palm trees, but they're actually, it's like grass, right? So like they could make a lookalike of Executor like that, right? They could make a Krabby that is just grass type and it's actually grass, but it looks like Krabby. They could do, I'm sure these things show up everywhere. And I think that's all of a sudden way more exciting than regional forms. Regional forms got really stale, right? Because they could actually make they could actually make a Flygon that is a dragonfly and not a dragon, right? And it could look like Flygon, but actually be a dragon bug type. Like we could actually get that.
I'm like in the camp of like it's kind of too boring for brand new. That's how I feel about it. Like it's still like as a form, it makes sense because it's just a variation of the same Pokemon. This is just from a fan perspective, like I was saying, like practically Game Freak, this is probably the way forward. But from a fan perspective, to get a brand new Pokemon, it's brand new. It's like, oh, this just the same with Paradox. But
yeah, dude, that's what I meant to say. I thought about that earlier. Design. Paradox Pokemon are lookalike Pokemon.
Yeah, they are. That's why
they literally are.
Confusing too, but categories.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's just how I see it. It's just like it's the same as brand new Pokemon, and I'm not talking about taking up. I kind of am talking about taking up slots, but it's just like, oh, we'll just do a whole new generation of Pokemon, but they all look exactly the same as the generation. Like,
no, it's not going to be a whole new generation though.
Actually,
but then it's like all of a sudden those issues that we've had with older Pokemon, like Gen 5 is the shining example of like, why is a Lomomola so similar to Love Disc but not Love Disc? Now you can make sense of that in your head, right? Why does Buffalant look like Tauros? You can make sense of that in your head, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Unless you guys have anything else to say, we are going to switch over to some AMA questions from... We got Shirley Nico, one of our Patreon supporters. They sent us an email at hiddenpowerpodcast@gmail.com. Shirley Nico says, Alola, I bring an AMA question. Hopefully I am not too late. What would your ultimate fandom blending, world colliding, fan servicing Pokemon crossover be? As my most played games, I'd want to see a crossover with Final Fantasy, I think it is 14. Give me a Charizard mount to run around Eorzea, which must be the land in that game, and let me catch a little Chocobo or Moogle, or maybe a Nier-style Final Fantasy 14 Alliance raid ending with a Mewtwo battle for my Warrior of Light to take on, while my Gengar can have a Black Mage outfit in Pokemon Unite.
That is an idea and a half.
So that's super cool, yeah. So let's start with this. What games do you guys play that are not Pokemon, but
I was going to say Luby's going to have trouble with this.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's my hot take. I actually responded to Shirley Nico and Discord. And I gave them my answer because I will say this. If I have to pick a game, Legend of Zelda. I think those like Legend of Zelda blended Fakemon. Like we'll see. There's an artist who does it, specializes in it. Yeah. Very, very cool. But if I got to choose freely, I would say no, thank you. And the answer would be none of the above.
Have you played any of the other spin-off games? I mean, there's so many to choose from. You played Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah. I like Pokemon Snap. Dude, seriously, like my Nintendo Switch games are all the mainline Pokemon games, including, Let's Go and Legends, since there's some debate on if that's mainline. And then I have new Pokemon Snap, and I have Mario Kart, and I have Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's it. And I gotta be frank with you, I don't really need Pokemon crossing over with Mario. I mean, if they want to let me drive a cart as Pikachu,
Mario Kart Pikachu.
If they want to let me drive a cart as Pikachu, that was
gonna be my answer. That was gonna be my answer. I think
Mario Kart.
Think of that, guys. A Mario Kart game that like would be what they should actually do is just include Pokemon in Mario Kart, like a Lucario driving a car.
Oh,
right.
Actually, no. This is my
all
answer
the humanoids.
Because you know what? No. Play as different. Like you can pick the Pokemon protagonist. Like you can play as Red. You can play as Blue. You can play as maybe even like miscellaneous characters like or I meant Leaf, but miscellaneous characters like Blue or Silver or N or whatever. Well, then the courses are different areas in the Pokemon. That would be
cool.
Fun.
That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, they have
like the mixing genres kind of thing.
Yeah,
it is. I think that's mixing genres for sure. I mean, I think
maybe
Mario
even
Kart...
Pokemon are obstacles. Like I think about how like in Maple Treeway and Mario Kart, you have the Wigglers are like running around. You kind of have to dodge them. Instead, you're like on a volcano area. Tyrantrums are running around.
Or even like instead of bananas, you have bananas, but they're from Tropius.
I throw Squirtle shells instead of
yes, exactly, right. Like someone
idea.
could make that with just skins, right?
The rainbow, the little star is just the 19th Terra type.
Yeah, that's. I forgot, dude. I forgot about the 19th
I can Gigantamax in it and run over things.
You just made a game. That's great.
That would be so much fun.
I'd dig that. That sounds fun.
Doesn't it sound fun? Because all I want, because we just want Pokemon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's fun.
What about you, Sol? Do you play any other games?
I do. I haven't recently. I was trying to think like what actually makes that I would actually play. In the end, like games like Skyrim are like my epic games that I love. And
but how do you do that in a
with
Pokemon game?
But how do you do it with Pokemon?
Yeah.
How do you do it? Because to me, it's like, I don't know. There's just not enough to do. Like they're even doing it with Paldea. They're trying to do. That's what people are like when they want to open a game, Pokemon game. They're like expecting that, but how do you do it? Because so far they still haven't figured out how.
Yeah.
I think there just needs to be some. We need more side quests and that have story like to it, like actual rewards that aren't just like a random Pokeball or something. Like actual good rewards. Maybe like how you catch Pokemon is. You can only catch these Pokemon after you complete this quest, something like that. Or
Legends
maybe like
was such a good step towards that.
It was,
and then Scarlet and Violet erased it all.
I'm really hoping, man.
They were developed at the same time, so you could. I am always hopeful that they're gonna take both of them and make a good game,
like a bigger version of Legends, but still incorporate all of the.
Isn't that funny
classic...
how like you just said instead of like Scarlet Violet with Legends features, you went a bigger version of Legends. Like,
well, I think that's
one we want.
I think that is what is special. How I mean, I say that, but we talked about it earlier. I do think that there's a lot of things that Legends didn't have, which are those core series things, right?
We've talked about it many times.
I know, so we don't need to get into it. But
we've talked about it many times that, like, basically those games are a cult classic, Legends, and Scarlet and Violet actually destroyed them, like, in sales and popularity. But, so they're not going to do away with either. I think that they're going to take features from Legends to a game, like a mainline generation, whatever. Anyway... So that's like what I'd like to see in my like perfect crossover, like, and have like more of a story driven, like this is the main quest, and it's like not like Scarlet and Violet quest, but like bigger. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to describe it. Skyrim,
do you mean it like so? There's a lot of like open world games that are not actually those. They're not the ones that I tend to like. I think of.
Like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, or like Uncharted, right? There's a direct
story
bit more
there. Like action, but yeah, the story is great.
Yeah, it's more action related. But something else I think about, like a lot of these other games that are open world, they have darker themes, which, I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, Pokemon's for babies, but I do think there's gonna like, I loved playing Skyrim and for the first time finding a notebook or finding a cabin with a dead body. And there's a bear there, so the story there is that the bear killed the traveler, and then reading the diary entry, and that you can see on the text of the book that there's blood all over it, and the guy's like, you can like read his last 7 days before you fill in the blanks, right? The last entry is like, can't wait to do this tomorrow. It's gonna be a great day, and then there's no 8th page, right? Like those things stick with me because I'm like, that's a whole story. It's scary, but it's like it sticks with me. How are they going to do that in a Pokemon game?
They could do that in Pokemon very easily because they could make stories around the Pokemon. Like the biggest example of this was Frostlass.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, the Frostlass side quest in Legends was the closest thing.
A human.
Yeah, it was the closest thing to this.
Mama.
Like you had to like find the Frostlass, like keep battling the snow runts or whatever, and you finally get to them and then you get the information. Like that was the closest thing, and they could totally do that and make it more kid friendly in the same way.
And
so, like,
it'd be fun to do that like in Kitakami, like with like maybe like they adapt like a Kappa story with like Lombre or something, like just very Japanese ones, like kind of, and basing them off of like with Frostlass, like old Japanese folk tales or stories around yokai and stuff.
And honestly, like Lumi, you talk about like Pokemon Snap having so many great stories that you can like, you can witness.
Yeah.
In the game, like you guys are making good points that there is potential there, but I don't know if they're I don't know if they're interested.
No,
in that.
The thing is like it would take so much too. Like we were talking about at the beginning of this episode, like what they just need to do development wise. Like that's just development. This is all extra added on top of that to make like to make all these little details in storytelling. But I think that they should up their storytelling like big time. I wish that they would.
I want a whole game that's the way home and not the way home being saved for the way home.
I don't even know if the way home was even that deep though.
What's the way home?
Was epic. It just was shorter.
It's just the end of Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, that's the Area Zero plot.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about. See, Lumi, you haven't played the games that I've played, but like
that's true.
There's some games.
My bar is low.
There are some games that have some story, man. I'm talking about like Metal Gear Solid stuff, like next level storytelling, like Final Fantasy. There's like so much storytelling that I wish that Pokemon would do, but that's like in a dream world.
Yeah.
I was gonna segue into, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet about the Japanese tale of the crab in the. Did you see it?
Hold on, let me pull it up.
Not.
Start talking about it.
Yeah, no, I'll just tell you about it. You don't have to pull it up. Basically there's a Japanese story about a crab and a monkey, and the monkey kills the crab over some fruit, and they were friends before, and he like betrays him and kills him, and then the crab's son like makes this whole plot to take revenge on the monkey, so he invites him to the crab's funeral, like his dad's funeral, and in a tea room they like him and his friends just like gang up on the chops on the monkey. So someone made this connection that we have Gligar, it's very similar to a crab, get rid of the tail, and
I see what you did there.
Yeah, and Apom, and the two of them are kind of like the crab and the monkey, and then Poltergeist is literally like tea room death. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it just is crazy. I 100% believe that it like attached to all this because it's just a Japanese story that they probably. And I just want to explain why Gligar and Apom are the two there. Like this explains it to me, also being Johto Pokemon. But anyway.
Gligar is about as much of a crab as Dragonite is a dog.
Bro, it's a lookalike. It's like a lookalike crab. I don't get
people that don't see how it can't be a crab. Like
it's a scorpion.
It's a
kind of.
It's a
scorpion.
Is
scorpions
Scizor
don't
also
fly.
a crab?
Bro, yeah, kind of.
It's got crab hands. Yeah, claws.
Pincers do not equivalent. That's like saying, it's got fur. It
claws.
has to be a dog. It can't be a bear because only dogs have fur.
Well, actually, bears are closer to dogs than they are cats.
Boom.
I mean, that.
And did you know sea lions are closely related to bears? I learned that at the aquarium.
Honestly, that's not hard to believe.
It's kind of cool.
There's been other times I've seen it that people have related Gligar to a crab. I know it's not supposed to primarily be a crab, like,
but it's a Pokemon. It has
yes, but
it has multiple inspirations.
When you're like looking through,
and crab ain't one of them.
When you're looking through Gen 2 Pokemon, you're just like, oh, these two.
There's the crab.
Yeah, these
There's
two
it. There's the crab
and the monkey, and from the tail of the crab and the monkey.
Well, so tell me this: like, what is do we still have room in the list of leaked Pokemon? Do we still have room in the list of leaked Pokemon for a new form or an evolution or a paradox, whatever, of Gligar and Aipom?
Because that was the hope, but
because well, then what? Then why are we bringing this up?
I'm bringing that up just
because he thinks that a scorpion's a crab.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, you're listening to a man who thinks a scorpion. You know what? I think Aipom is a lizard. Lizards have eyes,
and they have tails too.
Yeah,
I don't know how you don't see a crab.
That's a good point, Lumi.
The reason I'm bringing it up is because it's like Japanese storytelling. I was connecting it back to like this is like something that they could have done something with, like a tale that they actually could have put into the game instead of just being like a background, like this is where the origins or design origins came from. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and shout out to Mark Plesko for the story.
Yeah,
Mark, that's such a cool story. Gligar is not a crab.
It kind of is a crab. If you think
you're right that it's not a crab, but it resembles one enough to put it into this.
You should have went with Corfish. That would have been a better example.
But this is you're missing.
But that's
the point.
A crawfish.
The point is, why did they pick these two? Lumi, tell me.
To be Virgin exclusive?
Yeah.
Why'd they pick Mischievous and Murkrow?
Not even their evolutions.
Sometimes they just pick Mons.
Yeah, but they single them out. They even put them like on the website, like, oh,
yeah,
it's special.
All that was them advertising, hey, just so you know, there will be version exclusive Pokemon in this game. No different than how when they, were doing Scarlet and Violet's promotional cycle, they revealed some Pokemon that, hey, these are going to be version exclusive. Sword and Shield, they used the examples of Jangmo-O and Goomy, I believe it was. Nothing happened with Goomy and Jangmo-O. That was just them explaining, hey, this version exclusive thing, the thing we do every freaking gen, yeah, we're doing it again.
I understand. They didn't have to, though. I'm just telling you that it is sus. There is a tale of a monkey and a crab. Those two.
I'm sure there's a tale for everything if we want to play that game.
It's very Japanese. I'm just saying. It connects to me. For me,
I'm sure. Look, the Japanese, they got a lot of folk tales. I'm sure that we can find something for anything else.
Scizor is kind of like a crab.
It definitely no.
It's got an exoskeleton. I mean, if you think about it, crabs, all those animals, lobsters, those are just big bugs.
Scizor is more like a crab than Gligar is.
Yeah, I agree, and it's red. It looks cooked up.
I disagree, but I do think that Scizor could be considered crab-like as well, because bugs don't have pincers like that.
Look at how similar it is to
literally
Crawdon.
do.
They're a little different than that.
They're a little different, but I mean, look at Skorupi and Drapion. That's their.
It's kind of like, what do they call it? It's like a Gligar is like it's a scorpion, it's a gargoyle, it's a bat, right?
Dusty, Google.
I'm being serious.
Scorpion. Google a scorpion.
Bro, they don't have wings.
Yeah, but it has wings, man.
Yes, because it's a scorpion and a bat, not a scorpion and a crab.
Bro, okay, I'm looking at a scorpion.
It has
Where are the wings?
Crab-like qualities. I don't care. I'm just saying.
No, actually, Lumi, I kind of like this. So you see where like the three legs are right there? If you put a wing in between, or sorry, like a flap of skin, right, in between each of those legs, that here. Where's Gligar? That's what Gligar's wings look like.
Yeah. Now, for the record, I will say it definitely has bat in its design because Gliscor has vampire.
I think it also has gargoyle attributes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe the pincers just came from a scorpion rather than, because if you look there, that scorpion, it's got pincers.
I understand.
Yeah.
You're missing my point here. I'm not saying that it's not a scorpion. I'm not saying that's not what it's based on. I'm saying it resembles a crab as well. It has nothing to do with its design, origin, or anything.
Yeah, I'm on. Actually, no.
Looked at this and been like, oh, look, a crab and a scorpion, like Gen 2 Japanese Pokemon. We can put it. It connects to this story that we know of.
Yeah,
this okay.
This ground is wet.
Poliwag being in it means that Gligar and Poliwag resemble the story of the scorpion and the frog.
All right, this is
that an actual story?
Yeah. You've never heard that one? A scorpion, a frog, a scorpion needs to get across a river. I'm dead serious. This is a real, folktale. Scorpion needs to get across a river, so he tells a frog, "Hey, get me across the river." And the frog's like, "No way, you're gonna sting me." And the scorpion's like, "No, I'm not. Just get me across the river." They get to the middle of the water, and the scorpion stings the frog, and they both drown. And as they're drowning, the frog's like, "Why did you sting me? And we're both gonna die now." And the scorpion goes, "Well, it's just in my nature."
Is that? I mean,
never trust a scorpion.
I don't even have to ask if that's a Japanese story.
It's not. No, it's not.
Really?
It's got a moral to it. Japanese stories are just like, and everyone died.
That was very death at the end as well.
Well, but anyway, but the moral of the story is that a scorpion's gonna be a scorpion. Don't hang around scorpions.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it's Gligar? What if it's a nice scorpion?
The moral of the story is that they are not. It's not a Japanese story, and they're not very exclusive. Those two. So that's where the connection goes. Either way,
Soul Silver Art. He's our next Mr. Fantastic, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Because it's a stretch.
The point. The point is going.
Miss is incredible. All right.
Going back to the original point, they could have stories like that in the game as side quests. You know what I mean? Like something cool like that.
And if they do, then I'll believe Gligar was intended to be a crab.
It wasn't intended to be a crab.
No, I'm saying in this little them revealing it, it was supposed to represent the crab.
It's really something that probably only Japanese people get. That's what I'm saying, basically. Like they would look at this and be like, "Oh, look, it's the story of the."
That's an insult to Japanese people. They're very intelligent. They look at Gligar and they know that's not a crab.
Dude, it's a crab. It's obviously a crab.
It's not really a crab. It's not really a crab though. It just resembles a crab. It's a lookalike. It's a lookalike. That's literally what it is. All right, we have another question by Legendary Limb Tops. This is another AMA question sent to us at our email, hiddenpowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hey, my question is, what are each of your favorite Terra hats /mega /Gigantamax and Z move? So I guess four. Whoa. We answer 4 for each.
Nice.
Cool.
So who wants to go first? Or how about this? Let's do Terra hats first.
Okay.
Let me actually get them up.
Dark type.
Let me get them up.
Dark type.
My favorite's dark.
Yeah.
Dragon's a close second though.
I'm rather partial to the steel type. I like the axe in the head. That's kind of cool. But yeah, pull up them because Psychic's really cool for what it is.
Yeah, for me, the ones that I like are the ones that look.
Ghost. It being a reference to the OG Ghost Sprite. I love that.
That is cool.
One's really, really good.
I think I like the ones that look like they add on to the body. Like they almost look like they could be.
Yeah.
They almost create form changes. I like the antennae of the bugs because that's where antennae. That's where any sort of bug Pokemon would have the antennae.
The antennae are really good. Yeah.
I think the dragon one's kind of cool because it adds just a dragon head to whatever the Pokemon is.
I'm surprised your answer isn't Bug Soul.
I do like what he just said about it. Like, it does look like it's part of the Pokemon. It's actually the only thing that looks. Oh wow!
Yeah.
My Pokemon.
Like it's adding a body part instead of an object or something.
The rest of them,
all the rest are not like that.
The rest of them,
I guess technically Psychic is, but
they look like keychains. Like I really don't like the Terra hats, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't. It's not.
I love the gimmick. I'm not a big fan of the design.
Yeah, it's the design I don't like. Yeah,
it's the design I don't like. Much better. The dark one's the best, though. I love it.
The 19th one's cool.
Yeah, the 19th one is really cool. I just like that the dark one and the ghost and the dragon, they look like actual Pokemon. That's why I like it, because they're like other Pokemon on top of their heads. Almost.
That's cool, yeah. There's a little bit of lore there.
Mm.
Where it's like, I mean, the plant one couldn't have been any stupider.
Yeah, but it does feel like
or the chandelier.
That's one of the better ones, to be honest.
The chandelier is dumb. Why?
Okay, but the chandelier. All right.
It should have just been, even if it was a candle.
But I raise you Terra Fire Chandelure.
Yeah. We need that though.
It's an extra set of candles, and it's coming back in DLC.
What about Belly Bolt Lightning Electric Terra hat?
That's pretty good too.
Yeah, I don't know. So, they're silly, but I think visually, I kind of like the Earth one, the ground type one.
The colors are nice. I hate the rock. Rock is probably my least favorite.
Yeah, it's like a Colosseum.
Yeah, like I don't even what's happening. Anyway, you're gonna have to pull up the other ones for us to know. Like the Gigantamax off the top of my head, I think is Scentiscorch. That's my favorite one. but I might be missing somebody.
Let's see if Cerebi should have a. Yeah, they're kind of tiny, but here they are.
I like Gigantamax Butterfree a lot.
Yeah, so we have Venusaur. Venusaur's flower just gets big. Charizard's kind of cool, kind of cursed if you extinguish the flame wings. Then you have Blastoise, Butterfree, Pikachu
being a reference to the OG Pikachu. Is cool
I do like
too.
that. Yeah, I do like that.
I loved that, but it's not the best. It's not the best one.
Kingler is a crab. It's a
snow crab.
It's a snow crab.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said a king crab. Lapras was underwhelming. Snorlax is funny but underwhelming.
Lapras is cool. Get out of here.
Eevee is the worst one.
Eevee is not great.
Eevee should have done something else. It should have been a play on the fact that it has 8 different evolutions.
Yeah, mine's definitely Scorch. Like Melmetal's good, Corviknight's amazing. Those are really good ones. But
I kind of like the concept, but I don't really like it.
Corviknight's cool.
Yeah, Corviknight I think is my favorite.
It improves on Corviknight in every way.
Yeah.
Both the Urshifus are very cool too.
Dreadnought is actually dope as well.
Orbeetle is cool, and a fun fact, this is a nice little plug for our Patreons. We discuss in either our latest or next, depending on when this goes up, if we believe in aliens. So,
yeah,
I believe in Orbeetles.
I believe in Orbeetles.
Patreon or YouTube members.
There we go. I think Corviknight is probably the coolest because it builds. That's probably my favorite. I got a shiny one also early. I don't like how Cinderace and Inteleon and Rillaboom they remain tiny and then everything else grows around them.
Yeah,
that feels kind of underwhelming.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, I like Urshifu.
Yeah, all right.
Urshifu is good, and Duraludon's is good as well.
Duraludon's
how
all right.
it gets big. Yeah,
so
all
Scorch for me. You pick...
Toxtricity is also really good.
Oh, dude, Toxtricity is so good.
Toxtricity is really good.
So that's our answer.
That's tougher than I thought.
Which one did you pick, Dusty?
I would say I like Corviknight. I had a Corviknight. That was what I gave it the Max Mushroom Soup to get. It was like a shiny one to give it the power. So
cool.
But let's move on to Mega Evolution.
Wait, what did Lumi say? Which one?
Urshifu. Yeah. I'm going with Urshifu.
Which one?
Urshifu is really good.
I mean, I use Single Strike, so I'm going to go with Single Strike, but they're both very cool.
Good, man. Single Strike is where it's at.
Oh, here we go.
Red.
All right.
We don't have to go through all of them. You just scroll.
Look at them all.
I know, but there is one. There's got to be one that's the best.
Mega Charizard Y.
That is a very good
close.
one.
It's very close between Mega Charizard Y and Lucario for me, but I think it goes Mega Charizard Y.
Scroll down a little bit for me. You guys are gonna kill me over the one that I picked.
He's picking Mega Glalie. He's picking Mega Lopunny.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was in between Mega Manectric because Mega Manectric was gonna be the one, but I think Mega Gallade is the best.
Yeah, Gallade is cool. Gallade's cool.
That's the one.
I got a soft spot for Mega Sableye.
Really good.
I like how its gem rips out of its body, and that's the pain that it endures. I think that's kind of cool. But the design doesn't change too much.
Mm-mm.
Man, I kind of lucked out with some of my favorites. I think I'd have to say Steelix. Mega Steelix is probably the coolest because it adds so much to the design. Cool. The fact that it has like this diamond, it's so strong that it has diamond on the inside of its body. That's the coolest thing. And it bursts out of it. And then it's got this like magnetism.
Sucks.
It's got this magnetism all around its body, so it has these like chips floating.
I don't like Heracrosses.
I don't like Heracross.
Insult to original Heracross.
I like most Megas in general. I like most of them.
I like most of them too, but Heracrosses, Aerodactyl, both of them where they make the original one worse.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
That, my friend, is a matter of opinion.
Is underrated.
Mega Sceptiles is also really good.
I agree. Houndoom is underrated.
Sceptile is very good, yeah.
I like how it gets the dragon type.
Sharpedo one is awful. That's
Sharpedo is...
Yeah, it just got spiky.
It's fine to me, but...
Oh, I do like Kangaskhan.
No, I don't. It's
quite a bit.
Kangaskhan. It's just...
I don't like Camerupt.
I don't like Camerupt.
I do like Camerupt. It's the shiny,
M on his forehead is stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
Was that not on the original one?
That's like the first Battle Bond form.
I don't know.
Click Mega Camera Up. Click it.
Camera Up
Click
for
it.
me is just
because
like
I need to know if Camera Up has a
No,
it
it doesn't.
Well, oh, it kind of does with
What?
the hair. The M.
It does.
The M on the like hair, but it's less defined, so
It's right on its
care for
face.
that.
If you're saying that hair is an M, then Gligar could be a crab.
Do you see it right here, Sol?
Well,
Yeah, I
right
see it
there, that
but he's
one
talking about
definitely
the
is.
other one.
I was saying
What?
the other one.
Oh,
the
no.
hair is kind of it forms an M, but I don't mind it at
No.
all.
Oh, it does. But it's.
Oh, that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I never
Yeah,
noticed
I don't know
that.
about that. That's just the hairline.
I mean, the fact that the Mega has it too makes me think that maybe that was intentional.
What
Oh,
for
wow.
magma?
Either way.
Connection there that you.
I never noticed that. So is it supposed to be like
Poke fun
magma?
at you know.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
supposed to be
for magma.
magma.
What
Because
are-
it's Maxie's ace.
What are these? What are these supposed to be?
Those are targets. You throw a ball, and if you hit the target, it shoots out lava.
How about
You-
if you throw
Everyone
a dart?
dies.
How you
But
throw a
seriously, what
dart?
is that? Is that supposed to be like the blue orb within, like, trying to be used on whatever you call it? Is this supposed to be like the duality, the yin and yang, like a creature of lava still has a little bit of water in it?
For a second, I thought it was water fire type, just because of that. But
Yeah,
it's
but
not.
then this doesn't have any fire in it. Carvana's got the red in it,
Wait, why would it have fire?
or it would have red in it because
Yeah.
that's the ace of Team Aqua.
Y'all tripping? I like Mega.
Okay,
Haircuts
so
better.
this person on Reddit answered why Camerupt has blue circles.
Okay.
Wow, that was
It
fast.
is a victim of Gen 3's weird obsession with covering empty spaces with random markings.
I like that
Yep.
though. I like that.
Gen 3 or Gen 6?
Gen 3, bro. Gen 3.
Gen 3 didn't do
Anyway,
that.
yeah, huh? That
No.
dude is Gen 3.
No
Gen 3 did
shot.
do that.
No, but the issue with the M,
Zengu Sense of Viper asked how you're doing today.
bro, get out of here.
Great designs, but that's what they did. They just covered up blank slates with random markings.
Anyway, what did you
Okay.
choose for your favorite Mega here? I got Mega Gallade. Dusty is Mega.
Oh, yeah,
Steelix,
sorry.
I think he said.
Yeah, Steelix
Steelix.
is the best.
And I went Zard Y.
Zard
Not
Y.
Zard Z?
There is
Definitely
no
not
Zard Z.
I'm sorry, sorry.
Definitely not Z.
No, Y is better than X.
Yeah.
What do you guys actually for like colors and beauty and nostalgic, Mega Pidgeot, baby.
Mega Pidgeot's cool.
It's so cool. It's like what the design should have been.
Now, I don't see how you can like that when Staraptor you hate, but because, the little hair thing is there,
this
too.
I
is
know, that's
incredibly-
true. That's
this
it.
is
That's a good
incredibly
point.
better than Staraptor
Yeah, because
in every way.
the hair goes backwards, right? Because it flies forward, so it goes backwards. And then also, it's just one little strand. It is edgy, and I don't really care for that. But and then this is just like,
Goku.
oh, that's so cool.
Goku
The giant
Pidgeot.
tassel. It's always
The
flying.
blue on its
The blue
wings
on the
goes
wings are
so
so
far.
cool. Oh, I think
Alright,
it's awesome.
you all got to save this for the tier list.
I know.
true.
It's so good. Okay,
That's
so
not
She
far
said-
from
they
now,
said-
either.
No,
We've got Gen 5, and then we hit it.
true.
I
They
know, we're
said
doing that
Z
next.
moves too, but I Z moves what?
For
Z
what?
moves, I don't much care for. If
How
I
are you
had
gonna
to pick one?
How are we gonna?
I
pick one?
liked.
Ultra
I
Burst.
liked.
That's it for me.
Man, there are
I
really
like
a lot of them.
Snorlax's. It's funny.
Yeah, I like Mimikyu's. Let's
Mimikyu's.
snuggle. What is it like? Let's snuggle forever.
forever.
And it just murders. Let's play it, right? Let's here. Let
That's
me
funny. But it's
here,
also
let's-
just a Z move.
let's go to let's snuggle forever.
It's gonna pull up the Care Bears or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Put it on.
Oh no,
screen
it's anime. Here we go,
until
right
you
here.
actually get it.
Oh, here we go. Official Pokemon Company.
You get like
Yeah, it's fine.
Look at this.
snuggle forever.
Let's snuggle forever. And of course, it's Tyranitar. Sorry, this is so loud. Here we go. Snuggle, snuggle. And then it just. Oh,
You're dead.
that's a KO. And she smiles. I love that so much. And then
The throwing him back is great.
one hit KO.
I do appreciate Z moves for doing all that animation.
Yeah,
Was
even
it
though it made the
necessary?
games like brutal to play.
Was it necessary? Not at all. Yeah,
I don't think
and
so,
it
no.
takes forever.
Splintered Storm Shards was also cool. I think that's what it was called. The Lycan Rock one.
Yeah.
Here, let me see if I can get that one up.
Mine's Ultra Burst, Ultra Necrozma, like that burns
of
the sky.
course. Of course.
Like that burns the sky.
That's a dope name. That's the most metal like move name ever.
Bro, he's just like with his mouth open, like beaming.
Like it here, Lycanroc Z move. There's like an Elon Musk video that popped up. Oh, here we go. Nice. Yeah, Splintered. Oh, you're right. I do remember this.
Is it just Dusk?
No, all three got it.
What? Oh, it's loading.
We're buffering.
Advertisements.
You gotta know.
We're buffering. Yeah, we don't need to watch ads.
Here we go.
Oh, shiny.
He's gonna kill the shiny? Oh no, the Lycanroc
Oh, he's
is shiny.
the shiny. Good choice.
Lycanroc does have a really good shiny.
Midnight form is the best.
All forms.
It's a Again, it's
so long, bro. How long? Is it?
I think the game lagged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is cool.
He said, "Oh."
Whoa. Yeah, he said, "Ow."
It's like,
it's different for each one because like midnight it's a moon, midday it's the sun, and then
it's just
dusk
stealth
it's like
rocks.
sunset.
Oh my gosh.
It's actually really good animation. It's crazy. I didn't even
realize. Yeah, this was not appreciated. The reason why is because we had such a game-changing, lore-breaking gimmick with Mega Evolution to then go to just an attack animation. Like I think a lot of people were. It just comes down to like expectations. Mm-hmm. So and then what is it? Eternatus?
No, it's Ultra Necrozma. Light that burns the sky.
It does get its own move animation too as well, which is
yeah. Oh, this is sick.
I've seen this one 1,000 times.
Oh, bright light is about to burst out of Necrozma. That I forgot. It only becomes Ultra Necrozma. Oh, when it uses the Z move.
Yeah, because that's the thing is Ultra Necrozma's lost forever now.
Man.
Yeah, we can bring it all back and say that's the downside of forms.
Yeah,
what was that?
The downside of gimmick forms.
He touched his head. Is that psychic?
Psychic, yeah.
Dude, this thing is so cool. This is a cool Pokemon.
You get to see the most, animation here.
Look at here's the lag.
Yes,
light that burns the sky.
Boom.
Oh my gosh,
it's
this is really cool.
It's a spirit bomb. Watch. He said, "Give me your help." All the little spirits pop up.
Holy cow!
The longest move ever. You did.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy! No, they did not.
Atomic bomb on him.
Holy cow!
It
just shrinks.
Actually, thank you for bringing us back to the Z moves. Very cool.
That was fun.
The light that burns the sky, let's snuggle forever, and I'm going with Snorlax's pulverizing pancake.
That one is really good too. I will say, I remember yesterday.
When he looks up and his eyes glow.
Yeah. And that's what you do for your battle thumbnails.
Yeah,
the glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Well, we're done the episode now, but we have 3 episodes from last week. If you have not watched them all yet, that's like 4 or 5 hours of content last week. Go check out our archive. If you want even more content, you can become a Patreon. You can become a channel member and get access to. I think we're gonna have 4 or 5 episodes up for supporters of the show. You can join our secret Discord server also when you become a supporter of the show. But we appreciate everyone being here, showing up every week, watching. Stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already, because we've got a lot of DLC coverage. Yeah, Soul. I'm so excited. I'm really, really excited.
Special thanks to Drogain.
He's a mythical tier.
Mythical tier.
Yeah, mythical tier channel supporter. I was texting him last night or messaging him on Discord about Ahsoka. So nice. Shout out to you, man. We'll see you all very soon. Peace out.
Bye. Gligar's not a crab.
Yes, it's not.